Hi, and welcome to another Partner Playbook. My name is Tonya Gentry. I'm the Chief Sales Officer for Big Red Media MSP Success. And I have the pleasure today of having Cameron Tousley, Director of MSP Sales Channel with ESET. Hey, Cameron, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really good, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. So, one of the things I know inside of our little podcast that we do here, we're wanting to get this information out to the MSP community out there, what all the different partner programs are with different vendors and all of that. So I ask, pretty much the same questions. But for anybody that's listening that may not know ESET, can you give a little bit of background about it and tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, of course. So for those who don't know ESET, technically we've been threat discovering and threat hunting since 1987. We've been a formal company since 1992, so we have about 33 years in the business. For me, it's longevity, right? If I see a security company, there's so many startups and all that, but we try and remind people we've been around the block a little bit, and through that time period, we've evolved. And ESET's a great company. It's global. It's done very well for itself. I've been with the organization for a little over about 17 and a half years, which surprises some, but, not me. It's funny. I probably have more fire today than I ever have because, we've taken a company that started one way and has pivoted and really become this global, threat research and preventative organization for people to keep their digital world safe. And so I think that's really neat. And there's a lot of great companies in the industry. It's a wonderful industry to be in, but ESET's kind of special, right? Like, so we're global. We have 23 sales and marketing offices, including 11 that are really just dedicated to threat intelligence, research, development, sharing. We actually have a really neat blog called welivesecurity.com, which is probably one of the biggest takeaways today. And for anybody who's not been on that, it's for everybody, the B2B space, the consumers at home, like whoever you are, it's just good info sharing. So look, it's a pleasure to be a part of this company. I've been running our MSP space since around 2015. Held a variety of different roles from individual contributor to leadership. And, now I find myself, in the challenging market of MSP, which is very challenging, but very rewarding. So love MSPs, love working with them. And it's just a pleasure to keep going with this.
Great. So talk to us a little bit about your partner program. I know I did some research on it, and obviously you guys do a lot with sales and marketing too. So, obviously that gets our company excited, but I know there's lots of different benefits out there. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the biggest thing is, it's we have different programs for different business models and hybrids as well. So, we really started selling more to the VAR channel at the beginning of our B2B efforts. And then we got into the MSP space probably around 2012. So, between the two of them, if you're a VAR, we have a great model that serves you not only with like education and tools, but also a fantastic team around you. We have very competitive pricing. We have discounting. We have an NFR program, so you can, basically eat your own dog food, right? We have local support. I think that's really important, and that's on all sides. So all of our support is out of the U.S. A lot of our teams here in San Diego, where I'm talking to you from. But I think that's important these days because sometimes it means the matter of getting a hold of somebody quickly, getting through the call, effectively, and just like really having somebody here at home that you can count on that is that there to help you out fast. And so I think our partners really they appreciate that. They appreciate the certifications and the training that we offer. Obviously, competitive pricing and discounting. A lot of our commitments are either short or no. Like on the VAR side, we have 1, 2, and 3 year licensing. On the MSP side, we actually have no commitment. So, we do a pretty unique daily billing type of model with a monthly invoice. And really, there's no commitment around that. But, I think the biggest thing is, besides all that, is probably marketing. Right. We have plenty of materials. We still participate in a lot of third-party testing. We have a lot of battle cards for our partners so that they can go into battle prepared and know the speaking points. And then, co-branded material or, partner first. for the MSPs out there, we're going to advertise your brand and not ours. We can wipe it clean of ESET on a marketing collateral slick, and it can just be yours, but we're providing the valuable content that you can brand and use for your offerings. So yeah, plenty of great stuff there. Yeah, I think it's a pretty rich program.
The MSPs that I know, MSP Success, Colleen Fry, our editor, has done an interview and talked to a lot of different MSPs about you guys. She says they all love you. What would you want MSPs specifically to know? I think you've got, like you said, lots of marketing out there. There's a free marketing platform, I think, that's free for them to use.
It is, yeah. So it's called the ESET Marketing Center. And the nice part about it is you can load in a contact list that we can't see, by the way. So it's all private. You can load that in. And then what we do is you can essentially self-serve, where we have lots of valuable security content. If you want to load in a webinar and then blast email a prospect list or an existing customer list of your own, you can do that. And then you can basically invite them to either, say, a pre-recorded webinar, or you can just blast them with valuable security insights. So if you want to drop that in, say, a monthly newsletter, we can be the engine for that monthly newsletter for you. So we're always trying to tinker in the way that we're messaging this, because we are starting to get a lot of MSPs using it, whereas before we were kind of struggling, to be honest. And we find that if you're really talking about it in the right way, MSPs need to create value with their clients. And part of that is communication at a basic level. Here's what we're doing for you. Here's the value we're bringing. But typically that would be maybe a QBR with them. But, from our perspective, it's why not communicate that stuff all the time? So you're not probably going to email them with the latest promo, although you can, but what you want to do is tell them, look, right now we're protecting you a certain way. Here are the things to watch out for, especially for your users. So you can do essentially emailed user education, where it's simple, fun, short little reads, something to where, the CEOs they're selling to might say, hey, team, we're going to start having our provider email us once a month. And these are just going to be little bits and bytes that you can take away to help you be safe. Now, I support this because I need my company to remain healthy and safe and all that. So, when you see them, read them, let's talk about it. Probably creates discussion maybe within their companies. So look, it's a bigger thing than just, hey, we have a marketing engine and you can use it. It's here's the powerful things that it can do. So we really believe heavily in that. And then we have essentially an MDF related option to where, you will spend maybe a little bit of money on providing a contact list to us, but then we're going to double and triple up on the contacts we provide within that. And then also help you script out and write a series of emails to help you accomplish bringing on new business. So that's a new business play. And, we're using this engine, but we're doing a lot of the heavy lifting on, the value content that you're going to serve, and then also the contact list that you're going to go after. And the nice part is we work with partners to develop their ideal customer profile. We figure out, hey, do you want to go attack ones that are within your zip code, within your state? What are you capable of? What vertical do you like selling to? Are you dental? Are you healthcare, or are you oil and gas? It doesn't really matter to us, but we'll pinpoint that for you, work with you, have our marketing experts do all the heavy lifting, and then help launch that and support that, all in the hopes that you can bring on new clients and grow your business. So I think it's greater than lead sharing, to be honest. Our position is that we're trying to give the fishing pole to the MSP to where long term they can continue to serve themselves, rather than hey, here's a lead. That's a one and done kind of thing. We still do that, but this is, I think, more value. So that's a more of a premium option, but a lot of times we can fit it under an MDF spend, and we're heavily contributing to that. So
incredible. Lots of things that are going on in your partner program. With that, anything that's coming down, any enhancements that you guys are looking for 2025 to it that you want to share?
I think a lot of it, for our MSPs, it's about the technology. They tend to really focus on that, and they probably should, right? I think for us, on the partner program side, yes, we do things like I just described. We're making more of that available to all size partners rather than maybe just our bigger select ones. But I think like our NFR program, we've extended that out to more of our cloud platform solutions, so that partners can run our more advanced ones that are typically kind of, a little bit more on the expensive side, and they can run them internally to see how they go and, protect themselves, I think is really the most important part. But, just extending ourselves more. I think there's a human element that's been kind of lost in a lot of the automation and AI and all that. And that's great. And we use plenty of that in our products and our marketing and all that. But I think having a qualified team that can help our partners with maybe tough questions and steering them on where to go. And I think that extends into the support side too. We offer not only phone, which is almost immediate, you can get right on the phone with our support team, but, email is pretty classic, but live chat is there. We have a security forum that's pretty awesome. So there's just so many different ways to get a hold of your vendor and then for us to interact with you. And I think that that's key, because as the market gets more complex, you need somebody in your corner that's going to help you navigate it. And even if you're a pro at everything and you're the most advanced MSP out there, you're still going to have basic questions about working with your vendor. And you don't have a lot of time for that. You want to get that stuff done quick. Otherwise, it builds frustration. So we're just trying to be the vendor who is there, constant contact, there when you need us, and, available to support.
As far as an MSP, one of the things that I ask every time is like, what's an MSP that you guys are looking for, and then how can they be successful? Like, what's the right type for you? If somebody is here going, hey, I'm interested in learning more, am I the right fit for you guys?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of a funny question, because, yes, everybody has their ideal customer profile and we have our own as well, but these are ideal, and this is not everybody. So, if I were to speak honestly, I'd say, it's going to be a gigantic MSP with 15, 20,000 seats and, but that's not realistic, right? So we still have a lane for that and ideal customer profile for that, but we have them at different levels so that we can serve the masses. So if you are a startup MSP and you want to start assembling your security stack, we want to talk to you. We want to get in there early so that, we can educate you and make sure that you have a full platform of solutions to go with when you're ready. If you're an established MSP and selling into the SMB, it does not matter what client vertical. We specialize in a lot of them, probably 5 or 6 of them. So chances are you're going to be selling to like healthcare or retail or oil and gas or education, SLED, whatever it is. So I'd like to think that we are good at serving everybody. But, if you are selling into the SMB space, that's probably pretty common. So you'll probably be talking to us. We tend to be a fairly popular vendor there. We also are working with a lot of MSPs that are making the jump up to enterprise. And, they're starting to have clients that are in the 1,000+ range. So we execute really well there too. I mean, our cloud platform can handle very, very large deployments. And, we have a lot of automation built in to where the solution and the platform is built to be enterprise ready, but easy enough to be used at the SMB level. So we can serve both audiences. And for the complexities in the product, if there is some for you, we have a trained staff to help you out. So we have our sales engineers, we have our support team, we have solution architects. I mean, whatever it is that you need as a partner to go to market, we've got somebody for you. And I think the biggest responsibility of either the prospect or the existing customer is to raise their hand and say, I need a little bit of help. Because sometimes we hear I'm a set it and forget it kind of person, like I'll go learn everything myself and figure it all out. I'm like, yeah, but why spend all that time? Like, we can be there and help you out. And all we're trying to do is eliminate some of the learning curve.
Yeah, the threat landscape is not this, set it and forget it anymore, right? Like, they really do need to be active with it. And it sounds like you guys are very versatile, being able to not even just say a startup, but somebody that's maybe $1 million or $2 million and looking to grow, or like you said, go upstream and now doing commit. You guys fit for them, it sounds like.
Absolutely. And, it's a full multi-tenant platform. We have a lot of MSPs that operate with a co-management model. So some of the, usually some of the larger ones, but they might be doing business in fintech and, they're pretty famous for saying, hey, we're going to keep on a couple members of our IT staff. You're going to be our help desk. You're going to be this, going to be that. Part of security, but we want to keep a couple, security analysts on hand. Maybe we want to have in-house 24/7. So we are going to utilize the ESET platform that you're reselling to us essentially. And we'll be doing some of our own threat hunting and mitigation, all that. But we also have a managed detection and response option. So, like there's so many complexities with MSPs. And, for our teams, we're not only selling our product platform, we're also selling the integration side too. So the first question is like, let me see your platform. And then the second one is, do you integrate into XYZ, RMM, PSA, threat intelligence platform, like you name it, like the list goes on and on. So it can be a pretty complex sale, but I know we're always ready for it because we've spent the time to develop our own platform and also the connecting tools into other platforms as well.
Well, one of the things that, I noticed and read from our article, and then also some of the other things too, is your corporate culture. You guys have, it sounds like a really amazing culture, for the company. And can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So, I think one of the biggest things is we're diverse and we're inclusive, and we want people to come and have an awesome career and a good experience. And, whether they stay and retire with us or walk away one day and go somewhere else, we just want to be a company where people look back and be like, wow, that was so impactful in my life. And it was such a positive experience. Because there's a lot of companies out there just chasing money. And like, I get it. I totally get it. And we do too. But there's more to it than just money. There is developing relationships and changing the world, like from a digital protection standpoint. And the people who work here, we're very careful about who we select to work at this company. It's people who want to be a part of our mission, which is, look, we're really serious about security. We want to not only help our MSPs and our VARs and our end customers be protected and protect, but we want to give a good client experience. We want people to be wowed by the people they talk to. Develop relationships with us, and hopefully at the end of the day, everybody can go home and say, I really had a good day today. And I know not all days are great, but like they can feel good about what they're doing and who they're being a part of. For us, it's not just about the security business too. We do a lot of philanthropy. I just got involved in a new group where we're giving cybersecurity scholarships to young women, which I think is really cool. And I'm like, hey, I want to sign up for that. I had kids a couple of years ago, so I've been tied up with my time. But now it's like I used to do a lot of philanthropy with this company, and they do so many programs like Big Brother, YMCA, and it's just amazing stuff. And so we're always looking for new opportunities too, and that is a part of our corporate culture. So in our DNA, it's to help people stay protected, but just help people in general. Be selfless. So I'm very proud to be a part of that, and that's likely one of the major reasons I've never left ESET is I like who the company is, and I like who the people are, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah, and that bleeds over to your customers, right? It bleeds over. The MSPs feel that, I'm sure, and the VARs, when they're dealing with you guys, when there's a great company culture, it bleeds again, like I said, to your customers. One of the things, tell us, okay, so let's get a little technical, or let's get more into, like the threat side of your business. What are you guys hearing right now? What's some things that you're getting feedback from MSPs, or tell us some things that you're seeing and
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, there's been this evolution the last couple of years going, quite a while now, from endpoint only, right, to more advanced solutions. And there's always been disconnected solutions that people use together, right? So, endpoint security is a base, and then XDR was brought on the scene probably about 8-9 years ago. And that's evolved. And that's a major part of everybody's platform these days. So we don't talk about endpoint security, that's assumed. We talk about threat hunting and threat mitigation. And that's what we should be talking about, because, as we've gotten more evolved in the market with the kind of threats that we're seeing, especially 0-day, ransomware continues to be an issue. It still is causing havoc within, small environments, and nobody's, safe essentially. And it's almost like a matter of time. So for us, what we're trying to do is educate, especially maybe our smaller MSPs, that having an XDR, like a truly evolved XDR, extended detection and response tool in place is key. You have to have that, but you also have to have somebody who knows what they're doing to run it. And so what we've done is, for those who don't, those who can't offer 24/7 SOC experience, we offer that now. So I think that's the biggest shift, is that, companies like us are moving now more to the managed detection and response messaging, where we're saying, look, we have this offering. We can help you bring 24/7 monitoring, triage, isolation, and reporting, in real time to your clients. Right. And so we essentially will help you deploy and get all your endpoint deployed, your XDR, and a few of the other solutions we offer. But then we will monitor, we will do the response on it, and then let you know what's going on in a very short period of time. We keep up on a lot of the market competitors that are doing it out there. And I'd say one thing that really sets us apart is how fast we are. So I see on some websites, vendors publish anywhere from like 25 to 45 minutes, and ours is sub 10 minutes. So we're typically right now, and this is not something we publish about 20 minutes, but what we actually see is that we're doing it within about 7 to 9 minutes. And that's detection and response on top of that. That's the entire workflow. So if I were an MSP hearing that, I'd say, wow, like that's very fast. Honestly, I don't think I'm capable of that, and that's okay. What we do is hire security for a living, and we put all of our concentration in it, and we have the manpower to do it. So we have a global SOC, we have a local SOC, and that allows us to do a lot of this at scale very fast for our MSPs. So when we talk about what they're asking for and what they need, it's XDR for sure, but MDR is the new entry where they should really think strongly about that and go to their clients and educate them on why they need that.
That's very cool. Last question. Anything coming down the pike for 2025 that you'd like for our audience to know?
Yeah, I think it's just the constant enhancements we're making to our product set. So, we have a pretty big range of products that we have house built. We don't do a lot of mergers and acquisitions. We've done a few in the past, but, mainly all the technologies we're building in-house, which is super important because they all fit really tightly together. They're all integrated. A lot of them have APIs. So, if you want to integrate into something, or you're trying to use it with a new RMM PSA, we're talking to companies right now on our website, we're not listed as integrations. We're talking to other ones to bring even more. So that's a constant evolving thing, and we should have some new integrations coming down the pike. I think the other thing is just being aware of like some of the product set that we have. We have multi-factor authentication. We have encryption, which is, again, our own. We do a mobile product. I think that's the thing that people miss the most, is that they're protecting all these other vectors, but then they forget all the mobiles that are on the network that are being plugged in and sharing. But yeah, we have a Microsoft 365 product. We have actually a really cool cybersecurity assistant that's brand new, and that's called AI Advisor. That's amazing because it'll make quick work of a lot of the guessing game on what I should do next when I've seen a threat. So just a lot of cool stuff coming into our portfolio on top of the services that we're now offering down to the MSP level. So definitely check out the whole menu if you're an existing partner or you're thinking about a security solution, because there's a lot of good stuff. There's a very rich program, and we're here to help make you profitable.
Very cool. So I know you said welivesecurity.com was something that everybody should check out. If somebody that's listening wants to find out more information, what's the best way for them to contact you guys?
Yep, go right onto our website. We have a partner section right at the top header, and then you can just click on that and fill out a partner application, and then you'll have somebody contacting you typically same day within probably an hour or so. And so that'll start the conversation. We will quickly schedule you for a meeting where we can go over our solution set, talk about the partner program, get to know your business a little bit, and see if it's a fit.
Awesome. Well, we'll make sure that we publish that too when we put this out there. But Cameron, thank you so much for being part of this. This is great. I know that we've all learned a little bit more about you guys, and we appreciate it. And then for all the MSPs that are listening to this clip of the Partner Playbook, thank you guys. More to come soon. So thank you, Cameron.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.